You would have come in hoping for a hot start, but if that's first 4 minutes, well, it must have been a dream start for you in the box.
Yeah, I mean, we put 3 goals on pretty quick. Then we had our troubles after that. You know, it got back to even pretty quickly. You know, we really struggled to get it out of our back half. I thought they played really well in that middle period of the first quarter, and I thought the most important goal was the last one. You know, it sort of got to 3 goals each, and then we got one more. So that gave us some confidence that we had handled the momentum. You know, playing here, like, that was a phenomenal stadium feeling. Like, the Adelaide fans were enormously loud. We couldn't hear, like, talking on the phone to the box, to the bench. If you spoke at the wrong time, they couldn't even hear you through a phone. That's how loud it was. So for the players to be able to handle that emotion and stadium feel, and then to still fight back after them having a lot of momentum, I think that was a really important part of the game.
What are you most proud of,
I think the maturity of the performance. I think, like, last week we gave up 72 inside 50s. So from a technical tactical, it's probably a bit of a boring answer, a bit coachy. But we gave up a lot of inside 50s, and we really struggled to get the ball back close to goal. And this week, you know, we had I think it was a season high for possession gains in the front half of the ground. We put a lot of scoring shots up, and, you know, contested possession and all those things. It really, you know, suited us. Big numbers in those areas. So I think getting the game on our terms as much as we did in a big game against a really quality team, I think that's the area that I'm proud of. The other thing would be the evenness of the performance. So haven't thought about it yet, but when we do the coaches' votes, there'll be 10 or 12 names up there of players who could be in that. And I think when you've got that evenness of your group, it bodes well.
How big of a win do you feel like this could be for the group? Adelaide Oval has been a pretty hard place for you to play at times, and then to get to the preliminary final stage as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's sort of a sense that we needed to win here in a big game. I think we've had some pain in this venue over the years. We actually feel like we've played good footy here. We just haven't quite been able to win. So exercised a few demons today. They're a really good side, and we played really well. But you know, getting to the prelim is not the aim. So, you know, we have big things we're hoping for in front of us, and you know, we get Geelong next. I think it's on Friday, so you know, it's a pretty exciting time to be a Hawks fan and to be the Hawks coach or a Hawks player or a Hawks staff member. And I think everyone goes into work Monday pretty optimistic and hopeful of what we can achieve. But the prelim weekend is not the aim.
You've mentioned a few times this year, Sam, that you feel like you're the underdogs. You know, you said the media kind of wrote you off a couple of months ago, and then even on the weekend at training, you said, "Oh, we're the underdog going into this weekend." Does that all get thrown out the window now that you're in a prelim, like in the second last week? There's a genuine opportunity to turn this into a premiership?
Oh, I think there's been. I mean, I sat here this exact table this time last year, you know, heartbroken by the loss and the missed opportunity of what could have been, and I think everyone had a level of pain and understanding that getting that far is really difficult and enormously hard work, and you've got to have a huge amount of respect for the teams that just back it up year after year after year, and Geelong are obviously one of those. Adelaide finished on top this year, and they'd get to this weekend, but they couldn't go a little bit further, but they didn't have the experiences that our players have had now. So it's been a really open year. I think with 5 games to go, any one of 9 teams could probably win the premiership, and there's 4 left, and there's 5 left at the moment, but there'll be 4 left by next weekend. And I still think any one of those 5 teams, I don't think anyone would look back and go, "Wow, I didn't see that coming." If any one of those 5 teams won the flag from here and we're in that boat, what's that give us? 20% chance.
Are you the underdog against the Cats?
I'm sure we will be. Haven't seen how you guys have planted it, but I'm sure you'll plant them as the favourites, which they should be. I mean, they're a very sound team. They've been here before, and they're annoyingly good, and hopefully it's our turn to get rid of them.
In terms of a quarter by midfielder, where does John Newcomb's first quarter kind of rate in the ones that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, he's played really well for us. He's been really important. I think he's had a couple of quieter games against Adelaide, so I think for him to stand up so strongly and to be so reliable for us. But I think the whole midfield group, you know, performed really well. I think it was probably Josh Ward's best game. You would argue that's the best game of his career, and to do it on that stage is pretty is pretty good. I thought Warps was outstanding. His composure with ball in hand, the ruck battle, was pretty impressive. So Nashi sort of was able to sort of half keep Dawson in check, but he's very good and got off a few times. But I thought there was a level of solidarity amongst that whole midfield group, which meant we were able to get the ball in our front half and lock it in there much better than we were last week. So that was some good growth for us, and Nuke's obviously a big part of it.
Did anyone at the club think that Gunston still had this sort of footy left in him when you went and got him? I mean, you completely understand the move. You go and get some leadership and a guy that could still play at a very high level, but he sort of turned himself into the top 10 player in the comp again, like on the biggest stage, kicked another 5, like... How shocked are you? How shocked is he? How shocked is the team that he's kind of going back the clock?
I'd love to say I had this plan and we knew that he'd be this, but I would just be completely lying. We hoped that he would have some on-field impact, but when he came back, it was really clear, chatting with him, like, your biggest influence that we want you to have is we want you to support this younger group. Our midfield is quite an eclectic sort of group. Like, you put all the names up without Gunners, it's sort of... you don't know what you're going to get sometimes. 2 years ago, you would have said. And now the level of consistency of all those other players all comes from the leadership of him and Luke Bruce. So Luke Bruce is not performing on the field at the moment, but he's still having a massive influence. He's still over here. He's still travelling with the team. He's still supporting the team. He's still coaching during the week. And I think Adrian Hickmott and those two, their collective, what they do with the forwards to grow that group is massive. And what he's done on the field has always been considered as a bonus, and it's certainly beyond what I thought he'd be capable of. I think probably what he thought he'd be capable of, but full credit to him and the medical teams for getting him as fit and as good as he's been.
And that leadership of him and the Bruce and these guys, like, you've been there as a player and done it. Like, how important to win flags that you need the guys behind the scenes that we don't see that are helping the group?
They say it takes a village, and the staff that go into every football club sits here at this time of year and thinks about how they got there, and the players deserve all the credit because they do the work, but they would struggle to do it without the support networks that are around him, and whether that's the mental skills or the physical output that they produce or the recovery methods or the dietitians or every aspect of their lives is looked after to give them the best. And I'm really proud of our whole football department because I feel like there's nothing that's too far for them, and sometimes they miss out on the best parts. So we do a pre-game meeting and it's just me and the players only, and so they miss out on this great moment, and they would all love to be in there, but they know what it means for players to perform in key times, and there's a lot of them at the moment, which is where we want to be.
A contracted opposition captain in the weekend before, if you had your time again, given the storm that has erupted in the last couple of days?
I'm not going to get into any details, but our playing group and I couldn't have prepared any better for this game. Yeah. That's what I would say.
So no regrets?
My job is to win as many games as I possibly can as the coach of this club and to improve this club in any way I see fit. So I'll continue to do that.
Is it extra fun that you